Hello everyone, welcome to the Geekness Awakens podcast where we will be talking about all stuff geeky and nerdy, like comic book, movies, TV shows, video games, and some anime. Today on this episode, we will be talking about the newest Infinity War trailer, which came out almost a week ago, if not a week ago. So I first want to talk about Thanos, something that Gamora says at the beginning of the trailer to Tony Stark. She says that Thanos wants to wipe out half of the life of the universe. This is something that is actually reminiscent from this character from the comic books. And the original Infinity Gauntlet story, he wants to destroy half of the life of the universe to impress Mr. Steph, because his character is in love with Mr. Steph and just loves the idea of death. He worships it, and to impress her, he wants to destroy half the life of the universe. That's why he's after the Infinity Gauntlet and the Infinity Stones. He also has kind of a God complex, where he always wants to be God and always thinks he is God when he's in power. So that's something of his character. But I found it really cool that Gamora actually addresses this, and we know that that is his goal in the movie. We don't know if it's to impress Mr. Steph or not. Maybe they changed for the movie. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I would like to see it play out in the movie, like, Mr. Steph and Thanos trying to impress her. I think that's an important part of his character, which I would love to see explored in the movies. But if we don't, it's not that big of a deal. But that is something that I want to talk about, because Gamora does says it in the trailer. So another thing I want to talk about is Iron Man's new armor. I talked about this in my previous podcast, where I talked about the previous trailers, the Super Bowl trailers that came out during that time. We do see in the Infinity War trailer, the teaser one for the Super Bowl, Tony's suit changing automatically, it's a new function of his suit apparently. We also have seen the promotional pictures, the Hot Toys figures, various action figures, that his suit does change, and it looks like Blue Beetle sometimes, which is, I think it's kind of funny how people are making memes about it. We're just coloring it and making Blue Beetle out of the picture of Iron Man from, I think it was Times Magazine. I don't remember. I just thought that was funny, but I did talk about that in my previous video. I did say that my theory was that it was either the Mark Prime or something close to it. For those of you who don't know, Mark Prime armor is the armor that Tony Stark used recently in All New Different Marvel, when that's sort of not a reboot, but let's call it a soft reboot, because it wasn't really a reboot. The characters just started off from the same place they were in, same storylines or whatever. But let's not get into that. That's a whole other topic. He does use that armor in the comic books. It's it's not fluid, but it can change from a skinny armor into the Hulk Buster in a second. It can create new weapons, that kind of stuff. And this the trailer, we do see a shot of him going at that ringy portal thing in the sky, and his feet, the bottoms of his armor changes to a turbine of sorts and just goes way faster. So I think it might not be exactly like the comic books, where it turns to a Hulk Buster in a second, but it might be something like it. It might be an early version of Mark Prime, or at least the MCU's version, because we do know they sometimes do change some stuff from the comic books to adapt it to the movies. So it might be that might be the case. I'm honestly really excited to see the armor, because it's my favorite armor from the comic books. As soon as I saw it, I was in love with it, because it's a different look. It doesn't look that bulky, I guess. It looks more slimmer, more neat, in my opinion. It looks simple. It looks very simple, which is something that I like. at least in that case and with that armor specifically. So I think that might be the case. It might be the Mark Prime armor. Who knows? Maybe they put another name to it, since it's not, I think, exactly the same as, doesn't have the same capacity to change as the Mark Prime for the comic books. I also want to talk about, I mentioned it earlier, the big ring portal thing in the sky, where Iron Man flies off to apparently investigate it. So from what we see on the trailer, it looks that way. The previous trailers we had seen Spider-Man, Peter Parker, actually like going to investigate it. We also see that in this trailer, like he steps off from the school bus and puts on his mask and starts web slinging. In the first trailer, we had seen like apparently his spider sense acting up. Like, we did see his hairs and his arms like lift up. So and we did see that in the sky. So like really big, you can't miss it. My theory is that might be maybe a portal of some sort. So I obviously it's from Thanos. That's pretty obvious. Maybe it's not actually for him to get to Earth. Maybe his army or something. Because there is gonna be a battle in New York. I think that's where Iron Man's gonna meet up with maybe Spider-Man, Wong, Doctor Strange, maybe later the Guardians, because we do see Gamora and Iron Man talking at the beginning of this trailer, which in a place where it seems to be a Sanctum Sanctorum from Doctor Strange. I think I said that right, something like that. So yeah, I do think that, you know, that scene in Spider-Man, like it's actually on top of it, and it's apparently going out of the atmosphere into space, and Spider-Man just removes his mask, and we do see like obviously maskless. I do think something might actually happen with Peter. That was my original theory, which I had talking about. I said that I thought he was gonna die in that scene, and maybe Doctor Strange would go to the past with Tony, and either they would save him or Tony would give him the Iron Spider suit so he could save himself and breathe in space, maybe. Since obviously he's more advanced than his current suit. But lately I was talking to a friend of mine and I realized that that might not be the case. Maybe he won't die in that scene. Maybe just like the Guardians will get there, and Wong and Doctor Strange, and maybe they'll stop them from dying. So he won't die in that scene. I do think Spider-Man is gonna die though, at least close to dying. I think he's gonna get close to dying. If not at that scene, maybe in the later on in the movie. We do see in the first trailer that came out, I think it was like Spider-Man lying on the ground, Tony holding him in his arms. She was saying like I'm sorry or something to Tony. Apparently, obviously if he were to die, he would come back, because we do know that Tom Holland has a contract to do a trilogy with Marvel. So we do know he would be getting 2 more films. So he wouldn't be dead until after those 2 films, unless he signs his contract again and stays on board to play Spider-Man for a few more years. But I don't think that might be the case, because as we all know, most characters only get a trilogy, like Iron Man, Thor, Captain America. Guardians of the Galaxy will probably get they will get a 3rd movie. Doctor Strange, Black Panther on the same road, same as Spider-Man. Ant-Man, obviously, Ant-Man the Wasp, which counts Ant-Man 2, is coming out later this year. And we do know there is a part 3 that's gonna come out soon. When I say soon, maybe a couple of years. So we do know he's staying around, he's sticking around for a while. He'll be hanging around in the movies. But I think he might die. Or maybe, like I said, come close to dying, then he'll be saved or something. That was my original trilogy. Now I'm kind of doubting it. I don't know. Let's just see what happens in the film. If I come up later on with a better theory, I'll maybe make a podcast out of it. The other thing I want to talk about was just a simple scene, just the Avengers meet with T'Challa in Wakanda. We do see Captain America giving T'Challa his hand, like shaking hands. And there is Black Widow alongside Steve. We do see, I believe, Bruce Banner, Rhodey, Falcon, Vision, and Wanda in the background, like coming out from the Quinjet, and obviously the bodyguards from Black Panther. I forgot their names. I watched the movie last week. I forgot their names. We do see that. I think it's just really cool. This is a simple scene, but I do think it's really cool. Like, because there's only been 3 foreigners that have stepped foot inside of Wakanda. One of them being Ulysses Claw. Even though he wasn't invited, he just broke in. But still, I think that counts. Then it would be... I mean, it's actually 4. Because Steve went with Bucky at the end of Civil War to drop off Bucky so they could fix him. And then Everett Ross in the Black Panther, they also helped him. So that would make 4 people, I guess. 3 if you don't count Ulysses Claw because he wasn't invited. But anyways, it's still cool because they're some of the first people to ever go to Wakanda and actually like experience the greatness of the city, its advanced technology, agriculture, and their culture too. Just like it's way different from obviously the US or other countries that maybe some of the characters have gone to. I do think some of the characters, like for example, scientists like Bruce Banner, are gonna go geek out with Shuri, because we do know Shuri is at the head of the scientific research there. So I think that'll be really funny and cool to see. Again, this movie is gonna be like the fan. It's not fan fiction, but it's every fan's dreams, I guess, because we do get to see characters that we probably would have never thought it would have been, met. Obviously, we do know since, after Avengers, but before Iron Man came out, superhero films didn't really cross over with each other. They wouldn't exist in the same universe. They would be their own separate thing. So now, like 10 years later after Iron Man, we get Infinity War. All of these established, amazing characters meeting up with one another. We never thought would happen. The closest we got was obviously Avengers, but I don't really count that. Civil War, Winter Soldier. We did see Black Widow, Winter Soldier, along with Nick Fury and Falcon. So yeah, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Thor Ragnarok. We did see Hulk and Doctor Strange in it, so that was pretty cool. Homecoming with Iron Man, Ant-Man, etc. All these films have crossover, at least with some characters, but not at this magnitude. Not like Doctor Strange meeting up with, let's say, Spider-Man, or Spider-Man meeting up with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which it's a crazy idea to think about, really, if you're a MCU fan. It's kind of every fan's dream, like I said. So this is gonna be really cool. I was just talking about this. We also want to talk about, since we were talking about this already, the dialogue between Star-Lord and Iron Man, where Star-Lord says that Iron Man's plan is not good, so he needs to do it so it turns out better. And Iron Man's face is just priceless in that scene. It's really funny, and I don't know. I just, like I said, it's every fan's dream to see like all these stylish and loved characters coming in together and just talking with each other. Obviously the action is great, the story is gonna be pretty cool in the movie, but I could just go to the theater and just watch a movie of just Star-Lord and Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, Doctor Strange just talking to each other and just like, oh, so you're this guy, oh, so what do you do? Oh, I do this. Oh, we're using our superhero names? Then I'm Spider-Man. That kind of stuff. It's really fun. It's really great, something refreshing. I mean, not refreshing really, because we have seen crossover universes since the Marvel started doing the Avengers initiative. But it's still like, it's not at this magnitude, not at this level, not at this with more than 40 characters meeting with each other and working alongside and fighting alongside each other. That's what I mean. So I'm really excited to see that. I also want to talk about I think a side plot that's going to be happening in the movie that involves Thor, Rocket Raccoon, and Groot. In the very trailers, we do see Thor hanging out with them a lot. I think it's going to be, because obviously if you saw Thor Ragnarok, you do know that Thor doesn't have hammer anymore because Hela destroyed it. So he does need a new weapon. Even though he has the Odin Force, with a weapon he'd be much stronger, especially an enchanted weapon like his hammer was. So I think he might go off with Rocket Raccoon and Groot to find a new weapon for himself, an enchanted axe. Because if you read the comic books or animated movies, you do know that Thor, when he was younger, he had actually an axe before he had Mjolnir. So, and after, I think right now in the current line of comic books, because I haven't been reading Thor, but he's not holding the hammer anymore. It's Jane Foster, but I do believe he has his enchanted axe, which I think he might be using in the film. Or if it isn't the same axe, it might be something very similar to it, even if it's different. Or even it might be the same thing, even if it doesn't use the same name. So I think that is something that's gonna happen in the film. It's cool. I'm not too excited for it. I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm interested in this whole thing. I don't know. I'm just not that interested in it. But I do get why they're doing it. I do get Thor needs a weapon. And they gotta have at least one side plot, I guess. Every movie has them. Besides the main plot, obviously they have side plots. That's how it works. Another thing I want to talk about is the new Hulkbuster armor. It has some changes from the original one we saw back in Age of Ultron 2015. There's some theories going around that maybe Bruce Banner is gonna be the one in it. And the Battle of Wakanda, maybe not to Hulk out and rage out and destroy the whole city. That would make sense. Because honestly, me being a citizen of Wakanda, I'm not accustomed to, let's say, foreigners coming in, using our resources in our army to fight their own battles. Even though this battle is actually for the whole world, but that's probably how Wakanda citizens sees it. Plus, they don't want to see their city destroyed in the magnitude that New York was when Hulk was fighting around the Chitauri army. So they probably want him, like, you can't be here, but you can't Hulk out and rage and destroy everything. I think let's say this does happen and Bruce Banner does go inside the Hulkbuster armor to fight, so he doesn't rage out. I still do think it's gonna happen. I still think he's gonna be the Hulk. Obviously, the Hulk's gonna be in the film, but I mean in this scene in the quote-unquote last battle, because we don't know if this is actually the last battle. It seems like it though, because everyone is in there fighting. So that would be, I think if he were to be in the Hulkbuster armor, he would eventually Hulk out and just start smashing and destroying stuff. But that's just a theory I've heard. I know a friend of mine told me about it. He was like, oh, they're saying this and that, but it's not confirmed or anything. I mean, they're not gonna confirm it. I mean, they probably will, but I don't think so. Yeah, something for us to find out when we watch the film. Another thing that they did say was going to be explored in this film was Thanos' backstory, which we haven't been able to see because we haven't seen much of Thanos in the MCU. We've just seen him pop out in the post-credit scenes, except in Guardians of the Galaxy we just saw a little bit of him talking with Ronan, was it? Yeah, just Ronan, yeah, talking with him. So it's gonna be pretty interesting because in the trailer we do get a shot of young Gamora holding Thanos' hand, and he's just holding her hand, walking with her. Apparently he was invading this planet. Maybe she was like some sort of a tribute to him, because we do know that something Thanos does. He goes to different planets, sometimes gets like gifts from people, or he tells everyone, like, if you don't do this, I'll destroy your planet and your race. So that might be sort of a sacrifice, not really sacrifice, but it's, it's a gift or something for Thanos. So, and maybe that's, he got the, I don't know, best kid or whatever, smartest, most skilled warrior maybe. Although I don't think so, because Gamora really seems very young in this scene, so I don't think that's the case. But it might be something like that, I don't know. I'm just babbling out stuff here. But it is gonna be pretty interesting to see why Thanos might want to destroy half of the universe. Again, I said in the comic books it's because he wants to impress Mr. Seth, but they might change in the film. Maybe he has other reasons to like want to do that. So yeah, that's gonna be something cool to see. I also want to talk about the Thanos Black Order. For those of you who don't know who these characters are, because they are, I mean, they're not really new, but they came out in the comic books. I believe it was in 2012, 2013, Infinity. Yeah, I think it was Infinity, the storyline, the crossover that happened a few years ago. I think that's where they were first introduced. We get to see Ebony Maw, who, for those of you who don't know, is the guy like doing the needle things to Doctor Strange. He's kind of a sorcerer, I guess. I don't know much of these characters. I know from Infinity's story. I just know a little bit of him. He doesn't. I think he is a sorcerer. The Ebony Maw. He's one of the coolest, one of the Black Orders, the Black Order's members. I do like him a lot. The little bit I've seen from him. We do see Corvus Glaive. I think he's. Didn't he appear back in Infinity War? I mean, obviously he's gonna be Infinity War. I mean, the Avengers. Or I think he just looks like that guy. You know, that guy who worked for Thanos, who talked to Loki. Although then I think he died back in Guardians of the Galaxy by Ronan. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just remembering wrong, because I haven't seen the film in some time now, that character. But when I saw him in the comic books, he did remind me of that character, the servant that Thanos had. Anyways, yeah, he's one of the members. Proxima Midnight and Cole Obsidian. Cole Obsidian is actually what their name was in the comic books. They just called themselves the Black Order because they thought it was cool. So they changed. I forgot his actual name in the comic books. It's basically, I think he's the muscle of the team. So they changed his name to the film to Cole Obsidian, which it's cool. It's not a big deal. Whatever. They're not like these important established characters. So it is gonna be cool seeing him like fight for Thanos and carry out his wishes. I want to see them fight the Avengers, obviously. I think the Cole Obsidian might fight Hulk. The Ebony Maw is obviously going to fight Doctor Strange. Proxima Midnight is also really strong and intelligent, so I don't know who she's going to fight, maybe everyone. So this is going to be really cool. Like Thanos by himself could probably wreck the Avengers. I mean, he can wreck the Avengers. Let me correct that. He can wreck the Avengers by himself, even if he doesn't have the Infinity Gauntlet. Plus he has his army, plus the Black Order. This is going to be a huge challenge for Earth's mightiest heroes. So this is going to be this is going to be the most difficult task that they've ever faced. The final battle also seems to be in Wakanda. We did see that in trailers. People are speculating that it is going to be the scenes that we see in Wakanda are going to be some of the scenes from the last battle of the film. We do see, in the, I think it was first trailer, the previous trailer came out, we did see Captain America running alongside Bucky, Falcon was there, Black Widow, Okoye. I don't know who else. They were fighting. I mean, just running alongside each other, like a really cool scene. We did also see the Hulkbuster armor, like getting ready to fight, I guess, against Thanos' army. We did get to see the other characters, the Wakanda citizens, Wakanda warriors, Black Panther. So I do think the final battle is going to take place here in Wakanda, which is going to be really cool because they've mostly been in cities. But I think the Avengers are learning from their lessons because the first battle obviously was in New York, a huge place with a lot of people, a lot of citizens. They caused obviously a lot of damage. Then they went to Sokovia, which they still caused a lot of damage and a lot of people died, but it wasn't as much as New York. It was just, that one city, which was located in another country in the middle of somewhere. Then now it appears to be. Then Civil War was just an airport battle, so nobody was hurt. At least we assumed nobody was hurt. And then here in Infinity War, it's in Wakanda, which people are still gonna get hurt. But hey, it's not like major city or something, because Wakanda's a secret country, or it was until Black Panther came around. They revealed themselves to the world, just like Iron Man did in Iron Man 1. So, I do think the final battle is going to be in this film. Then we see Thanos versus Iron Man, I guess. Maybe they cut it to seem like he was fighting Iron Man. Where he leaps and gives like a huge blow to Iron Man. I mean, not just to Iron Man, it just cuts over to another scene. But he was talking to Iron Man, he's like, I hope they remember you, or something. And Iron Man was just there with his armor broken. It was hard. I don't know. Like, I just don't want to see Robert Downey Jr. die in this film. Obviously, I know he has to pass on the mantle or die or something, because he can't keep playing the character forever. And what other way to get rid of the character and like killing him off? So I do understand they might do it. I'm getting mentally prepared for that. And the next thing we actually get to see Thanos and Captain America. Or this one, Nomad, because it's not Captain America anymore. Which is kind of not stupid. I don't know what's the correct word. I just want to see Steve Rogers as Captain America, just to see that scene play out in the comic books. The Infinity story where Captain America is just there telling Thanos, no matter what, there will always be people who will stand up to him, to beat him, just like he did in, I think it was in Avengers, when he first met Loki. I think he said something along those lines. I don't remember very well. Haven't seen the movie in some time now. But when you get to see Thanos try to either grab or punch Captain America, and Captain America actually grabs and tries to push Thanos, and just grabs and starts screaming, like using all his force, all his might. And I don't know, when I first saw that, it was heartbreaking. It broke my heart to see Captain America in this situation, because I do love Iron Man. Don't get me wrong, I do love him. I just said it before. But I prefer that Captain America wouldn't die instead of Iron Man. And Cap is like, I like more his character, I guess, in the comic books and in the films. Even though Iron Man's really cool, I do really like his character, especially Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of his character. But I mean, just Captain America has a soft spot in my heart. I have a soft spot for him. So I really don't want to see him die. And Chris Evans just confirmed us today, today's March 22, that he will be killed off. At least, or he won't be playing Captain America after Avengers 4. Which breaks my heart. I was in school when I first read that, and it just killed me. So I really don't want to, I'm not prepared I'm not mentally or physically prepared for this moment to happen in the big screen when I'm in the theater. I'm not gonna freak out. So the last scene I just want to talk about is just after like the trailer ends, we get to see Spider-Man interacting with Doctor Strange. Like I said, I've talked about this before earlier. These characters meeting each other, it's just amazing. Like they introduce themselves. Doctor Strange's like, I'm Doctor Strange. After Peter Parker says, hi, I'm Peter Parker. And Peter Parker's just like, oh, words here are made up names. Then I am Spider-Man. Doctor Strange just looks at him weirdly because we do know that his actual name is Stephen Strange, and he actually is the Doctor, so he actually is Doctor Strange. But that's also a superhero name, so it's like, it's so cool. It's so cool to see. I love Spider-Man. I mean, I cosplay him. I love him. I love his I love the character. I identify with him, especially Tom Holland's portrayal of the character. And I love just him interacting with other characters, like Doctor Strange or whatever. And then we get to see Spider-Man dodging a few rubble and stuff. I think that's gonna be the scene where Thanos actually throws the planet at them. And that's where Spider-Man might die. I think that Spider-Man might actually die in that scene, or get badly hurt, like I said before in the podcast. So yeah, that's all I really have to talk about for this episode. I will be making it maybe predictions, theories, videos about Infinity War, and maybe a breakdown of the Deadpool 2 trailer, which came out today recently. But yeah, that's all I have to talk about. If you do like this podcast, if you're interested in listening to what I have to say next about other kind of stuff, geeky stuff, like movies, TV shows, some anime, and cartoons, comic books, just click the subscribe button, stay around and like this video if you really liked it. Leave a comment if you like it or not, what I can do better for these podcasts, because I am starting out. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it, and see you later.